Hello and welcome to another episode of Junk Journal with me. Today I'm going to be doing, I think, the last Easter themed spread in this journal. After all, Easter has passed, but I did find this very cute Easter, what could you call it, ribbon? No, it's not a ribbon. I don't know what you would call it. But this lovely piece here, and from the flea market, by the way. On the weekend I went again to the flea market, had some beautiful finds there. And so I decided to make a tuck spot out of this, and I forgot. At first I just glued both ends and kind of put it on like a belly band, but of course it needs to have the outer edge glued on as well for it to be an actual tuck spot. And for this tuck spot, I wanted to use one of my own prints. This is my own embroidery that I photographed and printed out. And by the way, I wanted to thank everyone that replied concerning my question in one of my previous videos about an Etsy shop, and I really appreciate your support. You guys are the sweetest. And I just want to let you know I am currently working through the bureaucracies of Austria to try to get everything I need to do that. I think our country doesn't always have the simplest laws, and so I gotta figure out all the regulations and taxes and everything that I need to take care of before opening this shop. So it'll be a while, but I really appreciate your support. So I just mounted this printout on some cardstock to give it some body, and I put on the quote saying, "There's a nobility in compassion, a beauty in empathy, a grace in forgiveness." And this is a quote by John Connolly. And since it had a lot of empty space on the bottom, I wanted to add an image of something as well. And I thought for the word forgiveness, I kind of like adding flowers to that. So I'm looking for some floral images that would work. And originally I wanted to write something about Easter, since this is an Easter tuck spot. But when I googled that, everything that came out obviously was very religious, and I didn't want to make this very religious. So I wanted to do something more neutral, and so I thought forgiveness would be a nice topic for this. And I really like this quote. So I'm just gluing that floral image there, and then I decided to bring that sentiment also to the front of the card. So I wanted to stamp the word forgiveness on something. So I just went through my stash of small ephemera again to see on what I could actually stamp that word, because I didn't want to just stamp it onto the card, although given that it has a white background I could have just done that. But I wanted to add a little more dimension. So I picked this die cut here, and I wanted to use my Recollections clickable alpha set stamps, and I put the word together, and you'll see in a moment. I realized this is a very long word. I don't think you realize that until you actually try to spell it out or put it together in letters like this, and it's just huge. So I didn't like that. It was too big for this card. So instead I took this roller stamp, which is from AliExpress, and I will of course link that below. And I'm going to stamp it with this. Now the font of this stamp is smaller, so that's great. The thing that you need to be careful of with this stamp is that you really need to have your letters lined up nicely, which is why I'm always doing a test stamp first. So on the back of this piece, I'm just gonna stamp it and see where I still need to move the letters a bit to more or less be on the same line. So I just Did that, and now I'm stamping it, and it turned out quite nicely. And now I'm just gonna cut that little banner and ink that edge again, and now it fits very nicely on that card. Just gonna glue that down, and then we can move on to the next page. So for this next page, I'm using another recent flea market find, which is this cute little vintage Snow White children's booklet. And I'm looking through it to choose one page that I would like to make a little pocket out of. And I was trying to decide between this one in the back here because it has flowers and butterflies, perfect for spring. But in the end, I actually went for that one where Snow White is hovering over this cute little set table, because that kind of reminded me more of an Easter brunch, which is something that I always had with my family. So I'm just making that a bit smaller, and now I'm just trying to find a page where that would work nicely. I decided to go for this one. And before gluing that down, I wanted to make this half circle so you could get whatever's in there out more easily, which really wasn't necessary. But I just thought it would look nice, and kind of had to punch half her brains out, which sounds really bad. But yeah, it just worked out like that, and yeah, it is what it is. So now I'm just gluing down the 3 sides. And I really love that image. And one thing I wanted to say was, oh wait, before I do that, sorry, I just wanted to comment. So this is one of the lovely bits I received from Anita's Happy Mail. So I'm going to make a tag out of this, and I'm going to be adding half of this butterfly, which is also from Anita, and I'm going to be writing some things on it in a moment. But I just wanted to say that I just received a comment from a viewer about making the journal that I'm currently working in here, and she said it's such a shame that I cut up that book. But honestly, I understand where she's coming from. It's kind of heartbreaking to tear up or to cut up beautiful books like that. I get it. But at the same time, and I've said this before, is what's the point of having a book stand somewhere, not be looked at, and just collect dust? I would rather give it a second life and enjoy it every day by using it in this way. And I'm hoping that most of you would agree with that. I think that's why most of you are here. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. So on this tag, I'm putting Vienna's spring experiences, so things you can do in Vienna in spring, and these are going to be very similar to a lot of things you can do in wherever, whatever city you live in. So I just quickly wanted to name these. Take a walk through cherry blossoms in Stadtpark, which is one of our parks in the city. Have ice cream in one of Vienna's ice cream parlors. Enjoy a meal in one of the many outside cafes. As in a lot of European cities, Vienna is known for its traditional cafes. Have a picnic in a park. Get your bike ready and follow the Danube out of the city. Head to one of the many markets for spring specialties. As the flowers and plants bloom, take a herb tour. And lastly, go for a stroll in Vienna's Japanese garden. So these are just a few of many things you can do, and it's just a reminder to myself to get out more and to actually just do more, enjoy this season. So for this last spread for today, I'm working on a page where I am putting as a background the second one of those beautiful pages that Anita included, and I just glued that onto the book page. And now I'm going to make another pocket, and I'm using 2 more ephemera pieces from Anita. I'm gluing one on top of the other because I love how that little butterfly cutout looks in front of that book page that she added, and they're both sturdy pages, so it was great to make a pocket out of. So I just cut them and glued them one on the other, and now I'm just going to make a pocket out of it, and I really love how that turned out. And what I wanted to include in this pocket is this beautiful tag that she had also included, and she had embossed this stamping, and it's just gorgeous. And all I'm doing to it is adding a ribbon at the top, and I'm using one of Amy's fabric pieces that she sent me, and I'm just tearing off a piece, and I'm gonna tie that through the hole. And lately I'm enjoying making ribbons, well, yeah, I guess you could say the ribbons, like this out of just torn fabric. I just think it has a more rustic look to it, and it's more unique than having a bought ribbon. So hope this episode gave you some more inspiration for your own journals, and really appreciate your sweet comments, and hope to see you back soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!